Greetings everybody, my name is Tommy the Game Master and welcome to my channel. Well, today I'm going to talk about Konami and their recent failure with the Metal Gear Solid franchise. I'm not a fan of Metal Gear Solid, never will claim to be. I do own one Metal Gear Solid game, it's Revengeance, but that one was made by Platinum Games and not by Kojima. But just looking at the footage and the reviews of, Metal Gear Survive or whatnot, it looks to me like something that was a rejected Steam Greenlight game in some of the places. Some of the areas I've seen do look good, do look like they're from a AAA game. I hear a lot of those areas, though, are cut and paste from other Metal Gear games. But a lot of the footage I've seen when you're in these dust storms looks very much like it belongs in a PS2 game, a early PS2 game. It doesn't look good, and on top of that, Konami was greedy by demanding $10 for an extra save file. That's a little excessive. But I want to talk about Konami because I think Konami as a game developer and maybe even as a major publisher, at least for the foreseeable future, for the next several years, I think is kaput, is finished, is done. And I'll tell you why, and this is worse than Capcom. Capcom has had a series of bad luck. They basically have even put themselves on the market at one point to be sold out due to some of their failings. With Capcom, it was just a mixture of bad luck, bad timing, bad press, and just a few bad ideas. But nowhere do I get the feeling that their main community base feels like they want to completely abandon Capcom. More like they feel like Capcom's abandoned them, and now that Capcom has got its head out of its ass somewhat, people are starting to come back. There's legitimate excitement for Mega Man 11. There's legitimate excitement for the next Street Fighter pack. So Capcom can still pull through. Konami, I think, is dead, and what happened a few years ago really did hurt them, and I think ended them ever being successful again in the AAA market. And here's why. They didn't just alienate a few key developers. They didn't just piss off their fan base. They did both, and they did it spectacularly. And when it comes especially to their employees, to their talent, that's where they kind of got hurt the most. And here's what I'm talking about, why I think they're through. And I have seen advertisements where they have advertised to try to get new talent into the company and to work on their franchises. But here's the thing. Say you are in Japan, you're Japanese, you've completed whatever programming school needs to be a game designer. You even worked at a few companies, a small time programmer, and you're ready to step up, be a director, be a leader, be a big shot, and you're looking to get hired into a major corporation, a major AAA developer. Well, you've got Nintendo if you're really good, and Nintendo so far has had very little, if any, complaints from their employees, and they've been able to retain pretty much their entire top tier talent. Just think about how many game companies would love to steal Shigeru Miyamoto away from them, and he has never left. So they have some loyal talent there, which tells me they treat their employees pretty good. You've got Square Enix, which has no real big complaints. Let's see here. You got Bandai Namco, again, as far as I've noticed, very few, if any, complaints. You got Capcom, that does have a few marks on their record, but far from being worse. You got Idea Factory and a slew of other companies. Or you could choose Konami, who not only insults and kind of bullies their small game developers, but has been known to take people who have had top talent in making games just because they've made small mistakes and said making games, and put them on the assembly line for pachinko machines. You can work for them and, work for a few months, piss off a manager, and then all of a sudden find out that, all the education you got for developing games is wasted because you're now just a regular factory worker on a pachinko machine. And even if you do manage to make the next big seller like Kojima did, if the managers decide they don't like it, you can immediately get that reward stripped away from you. They don't treat their talent very well, and I don't see anybody who has any talent, has any options, going to work for Konami with their current management system. And I don't see Konami changing their management system anytime soon, because what Konami is focused on isn't AAA Western marketed games. They are more interested right now on Chinese mobile games. That's where they're selling their stuff, and they're making really great money off of it. So unless that market changes, I don't see Konami changing. And if that market does shift overnight, I do see Konami hurting really bad, because there's no way they're going to make it over here. They don't have the talent, and I don't think they have the name reputation they have anymore. And yes, it's sad. I grew up with Konami games, Contra and Castlevania, and while a lot of people like to go gaga over Capcom's Disney licensed games, it's important to realize Konami had a lot of really great success with their Warner Brothers licensed games, as well as their Ninja Turtles licensed games and a few other licensed games that they made games for. They had a lot of success for that too. So as someone who grew up with Konami, this does make me sad, but in the end, I think they're done for, and it's best just to let them go. I would say call for a boycott, but Konami doesn't make anything worth boycotting anymore, unless you like Yu-Gi-Oh cards, because that's about it anymore, folks. Anyways, this is Tommy the Game Master, thanking you for listening to this. I'll see you guys later.